Hello everyone. Today I'm going to present you with a very controversial teaching. It will sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I assure you I'm not. I've put a lot of emphasis in the past on the teaching that if you want something to come from others, you should provide it for yourself. For example, if you want love, love yourself. If you want to be happy, start going in the direction of happiness instead of waiting for other people to change so you can be happy when you look at them. If you want money, from other people, from a new job, then start focusing on abundance in and of yourself, and it will come to you. Because the world around you is a projection of your own mind, all of this is true. And the reason it benefits you so much to do things like this: first, begin with yourself. Love yourself. Find happiness yourself and watch it reflect in the rest of the universe, is because it puts the power back in your hands. It reminds you that you're the creator of your own life. But today I want to stretch your mind and hearts a little. Whether what you create comes through the venue of yourself or through the venue of another person, you are still the one creating it. So this truth begins with the realization that even if you are lining up with other people who provide you with your needs, it is still you creating your reality, so it is still you providing yourself with those needs. In human culture, there's a lot of emphasis put on the idea that it's not okay to use people for our own benefit. This is why we hate asking people for help, because we think we're using them. Except this is what we do every day. It is not possible to do anything other than this. You are using everything in your life and everyone in your life as a tool to increase your happiness. For example, you are using your lover. You're using him or her as a tool to increase your own joy and self-worth. You are using your children. You're using them to feel as if your life matters to someone. You are using your friends. You're using them to feel a sense of security. So a healthy relationship is one that is mutually beneficial, where I am using you and you are using me in a beneficial way for both of us. That is the definition of a healthy relationship. So it is the traditional sense of the word, using someone, that creates the problem in our minds in terms of using someone, not the actuality. Because you're using your entire reality, any aspect of it, to make yourself feel one way or the other. And what's interesting is we all want to be used. People want to be used. We like to feel useful. If people have a problem being used, it isn't because they're being used, it's because they feel as if their use is not being valued. So it is not an issue of being used, it's an issue of self-worth if you feel, quote-unquote, used by someone in the traditional sense. Take me, for example. People use me to increase their happiness. People use me to increase their trust in this universe. People use me to feel better about themselves. And you know what? Being used in this way is my number one favorite thing to do on this earth. Everyone on this planet is out for one thing, and that's their own individual happiness. That's why the one thing you can trust is that people will act in their own best interest. Even the most heavy self-sacrificers of our entire reality here are doing it for themselves. They're convinced that self-sacrificing is going to get them love, and love will make them feel better. So ultimately, the reason they're sacrificing themselves is for themselves. It's a self-centered motive, which is fine. The way they're going about it is not really benefiting them so well. But it's fine to have a self-centered reality. Why? Because you are the center of your reality. You can't prioritize anyone other than yourself. It's the only reason you want somebody else to be happy is because it makes you happy to see them happy. And that's okay, because it's how the third dimension was designed. We were designed to come down here into our one individual perspective and to prioritize happiness for that one individual perspective. Our problem on this planet is not selfishness. It's that we won't let ourselves be selfish. We won't let ourselves go in the direction of our own individual joy. So we get cut off from it to the degree that eventually an improvement vibrationally and therefore emotionally from the powerlessness that we feel is revenge and violence and anger. If we did nothing other than to chase our own happiness selfishly, we would never end up so low vibrationally that an improvement would be revenge and violence. This world would be one of unity and love. Besides, in a world where oneness is the truth of this universe and separateness is only an illusion, you can't actually find happiness for yourself without finding it for the rest of all that is. We cause profound problems on this planet when we harbor the illusion that getting happiness yourself takes away in some way from the happiness of others, because that is a vibrational contradiction. Most of us don't feel as if we truly are creating our own reality, and so we feel powerless when our needs are being provided for us by someone else. But that's because we're missing the fact that we are manifesting our entire reality through these people and these things and these experiences. You are the one manifesting these people and things that are providing you with your needs. This is an interdependent universe, and it's about time to realize it. Step 1, you come into this physical life. You're dependent on Earth. You need what it produces to survive. To survive, you need the people around you to caretake you, to raise you to the age where you can caretake yourself. And then, your dependency only increases. We're dependent on the mail carriers to carry the mail. We're dependent on the farmers to grow the food. We're dependent on the person to send the paycheck. We're dependent on the entire world we live in. And that's okay, because you're creating all of it. Because ultimately, the farmer, the person sending the paycheck, your parents, it's all you. The truth is, you are manifesting your happy life through all of these things. You created the earth, and the food, and the farmer, and the store. You may see them as separate entities and therefore feel powerless to them for your own survival. Or, you can choose to see them as extensions of yourself, and thus you are merely manifesting your needs through them currently. This realization puts you in touch with the fact that you are the powerful creator of your own abundance. I can highlight this truth easily by changing your view of the dreaded relationship between a sugar baby and a sugar daddy. In other words, an intentional relationship between a woman who is usually highly attractive and a man who is financially wealthy. What most people don't see is that they are not using each other any more than any other couple uses each other. Couples who love each other for societally acceptable things, such as character traits, use each other because those character traits, like sense of humor or an affectionate nature, cause us to feel happier. We are using our partner for our own happiness. A sugar baby uses a man for her happiness. It just so happens that what she thinks adds to her happiness is financial abundance and freedom. The sugar daddy uses a woman for his happiness. It just so happens that what he thinks adds to his happiness is having something beautiful to look at, and the power he feels when his company is kept by something that other people perceive as valuable. And we all know there is hardly a value and power greater in today's modern mainstream society than a beautiful woman. But guess what? The sugar baby manifested her own abundance. She is not powerless to the man's abundance. She has simply manifested her own abundance through a man. And there is nothing more or less virtuous about manifesting money through a man than manifesting it through a job. So what's the variable? The variable is knowing. Knowing that you are creating your own reality through these people and things, as opposed to feeling as if you don't create your own reality and thus are powerless to other people and things. So the question remains, is it okay to use people? Yes, we do it all day, every day. And people want to be used in the way that they want to be used. And if you have lined up with someone who does not like being used in the way that you want to use them, then it's not the right person to use. If we have lined up with someone who resents the way we are using them, it means that we ourselves do not feel good about using them in that way. And this is the byproduct of our beliefs. There might just be someone who would love to be used for that thing. You are not in this universe to suffer through it alone and provide every single thing for yourself. It's just that for most, it is much easier to provide things we want from others for ourselves than it is to change our beliefs about whether we deserve what we want from others and whether it's okay to use others by manifesting what we desire through them. People should be used. It's impossible not to use one another. That's what we came here to do. We came here to use each other to gain expansion. It's just that when we made that decision, from source perspective, we did not harbor the illusion that your neighbor is different from yourself. And so you understood that rather than using someone else, it was you using you to gain your own expansion. It just so happens that in the third dimension, you using you appears as one person using another person. People should be used. They want to be used. This does not mean that people want to be abused. Used and abused are a contradiction. But if you find alignment with this previous statement, that people want to be used, you can only ever meet people whose joy is satisfied by being used by you. If you find alignment with this previous statement, you can never again feel incapable of creating your own reality in any way, because you realize that you're doing it, whether it seems like someone else is doing it or not. Even if you use someone else to fulfill your wants, you're the one doing it. You were the one that created the person in your reality to provide yourself with those desires. This is a very important shift in perspective if we want to live happy lives here. So the question is not, am I providing myself with my needs and my wants? Because you are. There's no exception to the rule. Whether it's coming through someone else or coming through you, it's still you providing you with your needs. The question to ask yourself is, does the way in which I am manifesting this need or want for myself making me feel capable and powerful, or incapable and powerless? Let that question be your guide as to how to change your reality so you're manifesting things in a way which serves you best. Have a good week.